Good morning and welcome to Skin Boys. It's a show where people are made of skin.
Well,
You're not wrong.
the one show
Yeah,
with skin.
with skin. We all got skin in this game.
I think I'm gonna go
Can you
back to bed.
believe? Isn't it wild how isn't it wild how everyone but us got flayed in the new year? Like it was like 3, 2, 1. Ah! Yeah, and then just
It's a very Clive Barker New Year.
flayed titties everywhere.
Everyone go around and tell people who you are because I think everybody maybe have been on this before, but I don't know.
I've done this before.
Science don't know.
I honestly don't know if I've done prep school before.
I don't know if I have. I am Nate, he, him pronouns. You may know me from such characters as Theodorus O'Toole, Cleric, Horatio Hetfield, Bard Extraordinaire, Cortash, Kalashtar Druid of Spores, everyone's favorite, Otterkin Rogue, Twig, Swiftstrike.
Oh yeah.
I suppose I'm next.
True.
Cassandra is awake 2 hours before her normal weekend time. So she's
This is terrible. I don't like it.
I hate D&D.
I hate mornings. Nobody talk to me. It's gonna be really hard on a talk show.
Mhm.
I'm Cassandra. She, her pronouns. I honestly, other than I'm trying to think of any other past characters I have played like digitally that other people would have seen, and I cannot think if I've done anything. I think I'm only sitting at Amulet recently, or at least maybe that I'll have done digitally. But anyways, Amulet's the best, so I'm okay with it.
Who's your character in Domains? I can't think of it.
Oh shoot, Domains of Dread was digital, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's too early for me to figure that out.
I didn't look at those notes.
I'd have to look. Yeah, I can pull my notes while other people are talking. It's gonna be rough. Sorry, it's gonna be rough.
Slow, disapproving head shake.
Hey, you asked me to be on here, and no, it was before my awake time. So
Yeah, this is on you.
this is on you.
How dare you?
How dare you?
Hi, I'm Warrior. It's also early for me. This is early. It's cool though. It's fun. I'm fun to be here. I he him pronouns. On various games on this channel, I have played a lot of characters that sound like cowboys. I
can't wait for us to play a cowboy game where you just sound like a New Yorker.
Oh, I will fully not. Yeah, I'll bring the New York accent back. Cowboy game. I'm trotting here. And the let's see. So yeah, in Domains of Dread, I played Balder, who did sound like a cowboy. So funny how 2/3 of us remember our Domains of Dread character names. I did, and then Down and Outlands is here. Down and Outlands, I started Akko, who's dead, kind of. I mean, he is dead, but he's not done. And then I played Eric for a while from the 80s D&D cartoon. And then Eric got laid, and I had to play a different character. So
that's not exactly how that went, but kind of how it went.
That is how his arc ended.
I would say that's how Eric would remember it went.
That's fully how Eric would remember it. And I currently play Monty, who is an adorable little hippo child. BB-8 with legs and a big gun.
He does have a giant gun. He has a
really big gun.
Cannon.
Mm-hmm. It's literally a cannon.
And then our special boy made of skin.
Yes, I am a boy made of skin.
Matthew, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm still COVIDing.
Hooray!
Still standing.
And we tested last night, and I'm still contagious.
And I'm still negative. Tell me how that's possible.
It's
honestly, it's super possible. Like Michael got COVID like 2 or 3 times, and I never got it.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
You just
Danny
stay in
never-
different. You literally just stay in different. Like one person stays in like one room, and then the other person roams around the house.
That's the thing. We're not doing that. I mean,
Yeah,
we're
we
not.
didn't.
We're not. We're
Danny
not like.
and I didn't do that either, and she
Yeah.
never popped positive. So
Yeah, we're not. We're not kissing or cuddling or anything like that close. But like, we're still sleeping in the same bed or anything. So I'm like, probably
We're not like-
amazing. I haven't gotten
We're
sick.
not, we're not like coughing in each other's mouths, and I kind of miss it.
Save that for your anniversary.
The things we do in our spare time, we don't tell people.
Look, it's cool. Like I'm not judging.
I've also discovered my other character was Roya.
Oh, there you go.
This is why I keep my
Also,
sheets.
I'm drinking coffee out of a new mug I got yesterday at a holiday get together, and I don't know how well it pans out, but it's just a bunch of polar bears fucking. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, are those
I like
polar
it.
bears with my standing
yeah,
69?
I was like, thanks. You guys know me.
If you could pull off a standing 69, man, I would applaud someone.
Also, my timing was off. You know, the holidays were over for me, so I thought you were just going to say a holiday gas station.
I wish you could get that at holiday.
Yeah.
Or that they just gave it to you when you came in. They're like, here you go, man.
And they're like, look,
Speaking for
We've been
surviving.
saving this for the right person.
you doing okay, man? Here. Have this.
Oh shit. Well, I don't know where Shannon is. But maybe
She never confirmed if she was coming or not, so
Yeah, I know that they've been pretty busy lately.
maybe she just wasn't free. Maybe
Oh.
she also doesn't like to get up at not
I was going to say, probably sleeping.
Probably.
Or they're being attacked by cats. Who knows?
Or
Oh,
New baby cat, so
yeah.
Putting-
Yeah, I'm not sure where they are, so we're gonna they're just gonna have to deal with what happens. Sorry.
I don't think they'll have a problem with that.
All right. So mainly what I wanted to do is, and I've been trying to be better about this. I mean, we talk about it on here all the time. Matt's really good at helping me stay honest with this. It's like, what do you guys want and what do you don't want? And what kind of tone and vibe do you want for the game as we go? Hey, Draz!
Hey.
Draz is up.
Draz is up. Draz is here.
I'm not even up, so you.
I think I'm sleepwalking still.
I've been awake since 7. What's wrong with you people?
What are you doing
What
up
was
so
you?
early?
What's wrong with you?
That's
Get out of
that's
here.
what my body
I-
does. That's annoying.
Oh,
Yeah, I could have slept later, but usually I'm up by 7 or 8. Cats just aren't going to let me.
That's terrible.
I was up at 7:30 this morning. It's bullshit.
this is
is
the benefits of not having pets
Oh.
or kids. I can sleep as long as I want.
Shannon is on the way. Oh yeah. So this is just ostensibly us trying to hammer out what you guys want. So one thing I've been trying to do is I have a tendency, unfortunately, to get lost in my own
Bullshit.
get lost in my own sauce. Much like when I would do commentary with James and Warrior, they would get lost in their sauce.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's because they were on the sauce when they got lost in
Yeah,
the sauce.
we had a lot of sauce.
I'm pretty sure
I
that's a
don't
tainted
know.
memory, my friend.
You can't say that on stream.
But I do it in these games really bad. So I'm trying to get a little bit better about it by trying to be more of someone who's very open to getting a feel for what everyone wants. So what are some things that you all find enjoyable in the games that we play and that you would want more of? And then at the same time, if you were like, hey, this is something I don't like, let's not do that anymore. And then tone wise, I'm also very intrigued by, I know that with tone and vibe, I have a terrible tendency to default to horror. The moment I'm kind of like, I need something that I feel is going to have stakes, I go directly to horror. And that does not necessarily need to be that way. So I'm trying to get better at not utilizing that as a crutch full of spikes that are covered in boy skin.
Or they're covered in skulls that have wings that are flying at you, and then they get in your mouth. Bam.
It's the getting in the mouth part that's the
Did
problem.
I do that somewhere? I don't even remember.
Yeah. Remember when we were in the giant Cataclysm engine, and you just dumped all sorts of skeletons on us?
Oh, those were spiders that were skulls.
Oh,
We're
my
just-
bad.
They were still in his mouth.
They did get in your mouth. That was pretty gross.
Yeah, it
Brandon.
was spider skull wingwong in my mouth.
Yeah.
It was in
Yeah.
all these notes. I have like 22 pages of notes that I read.
You got documentation, Ben.
I got receipts.
just
Surprise everyone! Down and Outlands has just been an extended game of Elden Ring. So,
You can't fight documentation. Ben.
Morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
You're cool. I'm still asleep, so
Yeah, Sonner's
Right?
pretty sure she's still in a dream.
We had kitties to feed.
Okay.
we said that was a possibility.
So, basically, what we're trying to do is work on, figure out what everyone is interested in, what they want in their game, in Down Outlands, and then what they don't want, what they're not interested in, and then finding a good tone and vibe going forward. So it's a free for all. Fire away. I will be the scribe. There are no bad answers. I may push back a little bit on things, but realize I'm only pushing back because I hate your answer and I don't want it. But it's not my game. So that's the other thing. I want to make sure that everyone understands, like, this is your game. And so your answers are what we should be striving for. It's my challenge to try to make sure that I can kind of fall within the confines of that. Stretch it where it needs to be stretched, but also try to honor those choices you're making.
I'll be the icebreaker here and say I'm the newcomer, so I don't know that I have a whole lot of opinions yet about the game. So I'm going to listen first and then chime in.
Well, and don't. I'm not going to put words in Ben's mouth here, but I believe it doesn't matter if you have opinions about this particular game. To him, he wants to know what you want out of a game in general.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it could be particular about DNO, but it also could be like just overall, like, hey, I really enjoy when games when this is what's going on. I don't so much enjoy when this. I'll use an example that actually kind of brought this on. Is back in the day, and this is, I think, both what inspired me and has tried to really push me to be better at doing this, even though I don't always do it. I've gotten better again lately. Was James and his buddy Alex wanted to run their own stuff, but they wanted to run it in like, hey, we want to use your campaign world. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And the first thing they did was they did this. And what ended up on their do not want list was like literally everything in my campaign world. And I remember how pissed off I got. I think I've told this story before. I got extremely angry about it because I was like, use your own fucking world if that's how it's going to be. Like, what's the point of utilizing the setting if you're like, oh, we like the setting, we just don't like anything that's in it. But the more I thought about it and the longer I had to sit with it, the more I was like, oh, what you really wanted was somewhere where you had already put footprints in the sand. You already had history with. You just wanted to change the toys you were playing with. And it makes a lot of sense. And I like that idea. I guess doing it this way is I'm also thinking about it from the aspect of whenever you get a new artist and writing team on a comic book, how it's like, oh, this is the same but completely different because you want to do something completely different.
Well, and I was actually just going to mention that. You beat me to it. You get a lot of when I read interviews with artists, they say, or writers, they'll say, I like to, I ask the artist what they like to draw, and I try to give that to them to keep them interested, and having fun. And I know if they're interested in having fun, then the result is going to be that much better. So
Yeah, and that's really what I want. Is just like your thoughts about what you like, if there's something like you're like, we've been doing this and I really, really like it, then that's something we want to keep in there. But if there's something like, hey, we did this and it just wasn't that enjoyable, or we've done this in the past, or before Shannon and Richard, before you guys were able to join us, one thing I said, and I am very, very trying to be more self-aware of this. My default setting when I need to get a something with stakes in is I just default to horror, just straight up horror, because I like horror. So for me, it's very much like, well, let's just do something super spooky or super body horror or Lovecraftian. So I also know that that's not always everybody's bag. So trying to be very aware of that, because it should be, if you guys are having fun, then I'm having a good time, and that translates over to everyone else having a good time as well, because that's ostensibly what it's for. So fire away.
So I always love wacky hijinks. That may not be in your control because we're a bunch of goofballs. So it's probably going to happen anyway.
Hijinks.
We create our own hijinks when we need to.
We kind of do.
What kind of hijinks are you looking for, my friend? Give me
Wacky.
Super spike.
You said wacky then.
Yeah, wacky.
I'm not going to put wacky in because that's your responsibility. You bring wacky.
That's the truth. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just putting us in ridiculous situations so we can do our crazy off-the-wall nonsense. Like maybe we fight a god on purpose or not on purpose,
Yeah.
Slightly.
Listen, if that god has a bad attitude, we're just helping that god.
There you go.
That's all. That's all it is. We're a very helpful group.
It's a learning experience for them.
Honestly, I feel like this is true in any of our various god or godlike fights. I feel like the fights only happen because the gods aren't open to constructive feedback. I feel like God is like ridiculous thing, and we're like, that's a little ridiculous. And God's like, oh, I'm gonna fight now. It's like, just be open to change, man.
Yeah, Shannon, I don't know if you've warned Ben about the hijinks that I start in games.
Poor Richard has had to deal. Not only is he a hijink instigator, he knows what a hijink instigator myself and our other regular crews can be. Need I say, Richard? Fish heist.
Fish heist. Fish heist.
Fish heist.
I'm not against a good old-fashioned fish heist.
I would like to propose a fish heist.
I love fish.
We do love fish.
Yeah,
See, now my brain is already turning and churning.
For a second, I was like, I think we did a fish heist on Tasty Boys.
Oh shit, we did.
We did. You guys did do a fish heist.
I was like, pretty sure we did a fish heist.
Yeah.
See, Richard, other people let us do fish heist. I don't care what the Frost Maiden wanted. We wanted a fish heist.
Hey, you wouldn't let Nicole steal a boy. So you know what? I didn't let you have a fish heist.
No, you cannot just arbitrarily steal a boy.
I disagree with that.
You cannot arbitrarily steal.
I have seen that occur.
You can't.
I'm sorry,
We have stolen many people.
Sorry, just to clarify, just to stay a bit more on theme. Was this a boy with or without skin?
It was a boy with skin.
With skin, okay.
Yeah.
Deluxe model.
Yeah.
All the
I
bells
mean,
and whistles.
listen. If you're gonna steal, go premium, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean, right.
it is the tastiest part.
Especially when it's crispy.
Crispy boy skin. Don't just Google boyskins.com.
Oh, no.
No.
Boyskins with a Z.
Don't Google that either.
We do love Tasty Boys.
It's true.
Wait, when was Matt's
Thank you.
birthday?
New Year's,
First,
right?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
His birthday's the same as our anniversary.
We got
Oh.
married on Matt's birthday.
Ah,
Got married on
There
Matt's
you
birthday.
it was a wonderful gift.
It's just for you, Matt.
Neil, doing okay. Got COVID. Sucks balls. Thank you for asking and sending your well wishes. Hope you're doing well.
Oh, yeah. Not to derail too much here. How many you got lined up for tomorrow, Ben?
What's tomorrow?
How many
What's
what?
tomorrow, Ben?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't even know what tomorrow is.
Is
What day
Star
is
Wars
tomorrow?
tomorrow?
Star Wars.
Star Wars is
is out.
supposed to be tomorrow. But
Yeah, I got as many as the normal crew. Hopefully, everybody will be there.
all right. Well,
Okay.
I was up in the air. It sounds like if you got a decent crew, I'll probably pass this month again, but then I'll be back. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to leave you in the lurch.
No, you're good. I mean, like we always say, real life has to trump fake life.
You can use a different word to describe
That's-
what
Yeah.
Real life has to supersede.
Perfect.
No,
Fake
but it's
life.
still bullshit. It's still bullshit.
But yeah,
Real life and fake life can intermingle and coexist and all that. So
Anyway,
Sounds like a disagreement from Ben, but
no, I just it's I'm always just kind of like I'm a sad boy over that. I like fake life way better a lot of the time, except
Fake
for,
life
Well, yeah,
except
yeah.
for you, Cassandra.
what? Except for me.
Except for with you.
I appreciate that.
nice save, bud.
Yeah.
Good job.
That's good. We found out Ben had COVID on New Year's Eve, so I keep teasing him because we haven't like had the New Year's Eve kiss or anniversary kiss like a week.
Mm-mm.
I was like,
So like young Frankenstein, like you'll only touch like with elbow.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's happening, darling.
Just think
You
of
should
it.
have-
Think of it in anime terms. You're just charging it up. So when
Level
that kiss
9,000 kiss.
your house is probably going to explode. It's going to be like the beginning of
good.
Akira.
it's good, Ben.
Something's gonna explode.
Neo
Well, you
Neo
know-
house is about to explode.
You know what Akira in this podcast or this show have in common is a lots of boy skin.
No.
Gross.
Hey, it's fact. I'm sorry.
Oh boy.
On the Sabbath, Ben.
So I will say
Shannon's trying to get us back on track.
it's
don't know
so
why
hard
that-
to get you back on track.
You know how that works.
I know.
Wow, I'm sorry, we're enjoying our hijinks.
I felt like Warrior just gave me a liver punch. Like I was okay. I like felt it, and then I didn't feel anything, and then I was like, I'm dying.
It beat me to it too.
Oh my god. Okay.
I have not
Okay.
even had coffee yet, y'all. Like, damn. I can't. Like, it's not by choice either. I cannot have coffee until I have my med, and my med has
Oh.
to sit for like 30 minutes. So that is the
Wow.
longest 30 minutes of my day.
Oh, that's the worst.
It's awful. Okay, so I will say I would love to see a little less horror in this campaign. Because it is kind of like a common theme, and like I feel like that was awesome when we were doing domains. In this one, I'd love to see a little bit less of that graphic like horror and more like
So
kinda
that's like
taking it-
graphic.
You are very, very, very descriptive in your horror, and it's an awesome skill, and it's one I do not have as a DM. So I'm actually envious of that. Like I could never.
You're also like
Run.
I'm also grossed out by it. So please stop doing this.
No, it's not that I'm grossed out about it. It's like let me put it this way. I like strawberry ice cream and I like chocolate ice cream. And if I have strawberry ice cream every single day, sometimes I just really want some chocolate ice cream. Right. I like them both equally, but like I don't like when it becomes kind of like thematic of a campaign.
So
and I
you-
do
you
feel like
want
it's
more-
prepped its way in.
You
a
want more like
thematic way.
Scooby Doo horror.
Yeah, I am very much like a kind of. I'm a FNAF nerd. Like that should say everything we need to know. Yeah.
It's like we've been very strawberry. Maybe we could be a little bit more Neapolitan.
Yeah.
No, that's
Listen.
and this is why I wanted to have to do this, because that's something, like I said early on, I have a tendency to like find myself in that category. Fair, Super Spike. It's fair. All right. What else? It's one thing. So I'm going to add a thing here of things I want to do.
Oh yeah.
And this is not just for me. This is for everybody. So if you're like, hey, I want this. This is something that I want to see like come up or get dealt with for my character. This is something where I would want these ideas. So for me, one thing I want to do is slow time. I'm going to put my initials at the end. And yes, laugh now. My initials are BM. Bug off, Nate. I heard you snickering.
Do you realize what your full initials are though, Ben?
BLM. No.
It really
could
doesn't
just-
get that much
I
better.
mean, you can put that
We
in.
support it.
You know, like
I mean, yeah, but
Your initials mean something to everyone else but you.
oh yeah. So those are the two things I'm interested in, like that I'm very like want to do. I want to slow time down, so we're not like. I shouldn't say slow down time. I want to
Yeah, because one of the things we
better. Yeah, we're way too much into ultra compression right now.
well, and you had talked about a time jump of like 5 years, 3 levels, whatever.
Mhm.
I think I kind of enjoy the fact that we're not adults, though. Would be my only
Yeah.
thing. It's like I don't mind jumping a bit, but I kind of want to stick around, like, because I mean, how many times do we get to play kids? Most people, we start as adults or old adults, and
we're always so old.
I don't want to be an old adult. I'm an old adult in real life. It sucks.
And that makes total sense. That's awesome to know that.
And that doesn't mean like eventually not getting, I'm fine getting to adult eventually, but I don't want to rush there necessarily.
I know some of you are playing in other games that I've been running lately. I've been big on like using montages and flashbacks, which are things from other games, but that I think are super fun and add a lot.
I love a good flashback session. I really do. I seriously, like, as a DM, it's one of my favorite
Yep.
things to do because it lets you really flesh out pieces. We had a really awesome flashback session in like the OG Storm Song. That was, or no, it was Love Lost, Richard, wasn't it? Yeah, where we had the really long flashback session while everybody had like their 2 weeks at Candlekeep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I think those are extremely good tools to use. They're from other games that work wonderfully. All right, what else, guys?
So along those flashbacks, though, I like the idea of flashbacks that help individuals flesh out their characters.
Mhm.
So the way I do flashbacks are excuse me. Oh, thank you, cough medicine.
Ooh, fun.
Okay. You okay?
Yep. So the way I do flashbacks is everyone can do one flashback per session. And it can be a thing where like I'm doing a flashback, it's going to take 45 minutes. Everyone hold on to your butts. But it should, I generally try to tell people to utilize them in the way that you would in Blades in the Dark, as a way of like expressing something that can help you in the current. Like, this is why I have this, or this is why I'm ready for this, or and then montages, you get one as a group. And it's just a way for us to speed up time, basically, so we can get to more of what everyone's most interested in, rather than kind of the drudgery that sometimes I get interested in. So that's how I utilize those. I still want to do the. We're going to do a 3-year jump. It'll be 3 levels.
Okay.
Decided.
Mm.
That work for you, Cassandra? I know you're concerned about jumping too far.
You're the DM.
That was the most Minnesotan
That was-
fucking.
That was
I was like, "Where's my notebook?"
I
shady.
kind of like that because it feels a little like Stranger Things. Like we're aging along with it, but not like too much. We're still shitty little kids. We're just getting a little bit older at being shitty little kids. Now we're shitty
So-
little teenagers.
You still have some responsibilities in there, and I'm going to put these in here, and this will be available in the Dropbox. You're each responsible. PCs are responsible for 2 major events a year and at least 1 minor, but no more than 5. Oh, at least 1. I'll probably change this language a little bit. And also 5 is not a word letter.
I don't know if you have 5 gum.
Each year. The major events must involve their character. The minor can actually just involve NPCs. There's one thing I also want is, ownership over that setting. So, does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah, and we can like join up with someone else to do like a major thing, like
Yes.
I don't know, fixing the ship or
by
something.
all means. Yes, by all means.
That ship is never getting fixed.
How dare you? I was gonna work with one of your characters to try to do that.
Which one? Because I hope it's not Charity.
No.
Ask the responsible one. The one who, well, I would say has common sense, but she did stab a boy.
I mean, sometimes boys need stabbing.
Sometimes
true.
boys do need to be stabbed. That's just the thing.
Sometimes everyone just needs a good stabbing.
That depends on how you mean it, but yeah.
Take it as you will.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it goes.
All right. What else we got?
I'm a fan of kind of Dimension 20 style combat where you have a session where it's a lot of story, a lot of lead up, a lot of whatever. Leave that session with like where like that big culmination, kind of the comic book approach, right? Like start with a bang, end with a bang, like you end it with that bang. So which you're pretty good with, and like letting things, really escalate. And then you start that next session with that combat so that there's plenty of time to flush through the combat creatively. And that way, also for viewers, they're not getting too bogged down where it's like 3 sessions full of nothing but like crazy RP and then like 3 sessions full of combat. You know what I mean? It just kind of like balances it out for everybody, like for the players, for the DM, for prep work, for the viewer, etc. So you kind of do like, it's not always going to work that way, but like a session of like good story and driving, maybe a little tiny combat thrown in, but then like the next session would be like a big combat.
Yeah, I definitely try that. I'm not very successsul all the time at it though.
Sometimes it's hard because like things just don't pan out that way. And
But
that's
yeah, this is definitely my this is my goal. So. It's because I loves me some cliffhanger.
yeah. Come
You
here,
just like
tiny
because I
flirkin.
yell at you when you do it.
Well, I mean, there's a little bit of that. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, hell, Star Wars tomorrow, starting off with with that. So,
Ugh.
what else? I know it's early.
Cassandra's hands up.
No, it's not. I'm resting on it, trying not to fall asleep.
Oh, it's because never mind. My icon was hovering over your image, and I forgot I'm actually like logged into the StreamYard account. So I'm like, why is there a hand on her thing? I thought it was like Zoom. Like, did you raise your hand? What?
No.
I'm still clearly in work mode.
No, I was telling Ben yesterday because I was trying to probe him for like, what are you looking for? What are we going to be doing? And I was like, for some reason for me, I've always had a hard time with like, and maybe it's because I don't DM very often. But I always have a hard time feeling like directing the narrative is something I want to do. I always try to
Oh, I remember you used a very different phrase than that to
What did I-
describe it.
what did I call it?
She's like, I don't feel real comfortable topping from the bottom.
Sorry, I did. I was keeping it a little
Wow.
bit.
And I was like, I'm sorry, what?
PG, man.
I'm just asking you for DMing information, and you're like, I don't feel real comfortable topping from the bottom. My brain's like, what are you talking? Oh, okay, yeah. No, I hear you.
I was trying to be a little more PG, but I mean, fine.
We've been talking about skinning and eating boys earlier.
That's
so-
true. That's true. Hey, sex is a whole different topic.
That's true.
It's true.
Fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I thought
I've always felt really weird about that, but also I think for me is because I don't think on my feet as fast as I like to do, that it's easier to take a little, like, because you don't drop one thing and hope people follow it. You drop like 3 things. And you're like, we'll see where we go. And so then I can actually latch on to whatever one inspires me, and then use that when I need to for my character or to build my backstory or whatever it is. Because I'm not a person who plays a game that comes in with 5 pages of backstory written down. I generally have like this rough idea, and I'm like, I'll flesh it out and see what happens. So.
Fair.
Well,
That's
well,
witnesses.
well, Spike. Once my character gets introduced, you may have your wish.
Yeah.
That's true.
Better about the witnesses.
So, okay. Trying to think then. I don't know if I just caught everybody on a morning where everyone's kind of like, no, everything's okay, I guess.
I just think that means we probably are enjoying what we have. And
And that's where I would say, if you're enjoying what you have, give me some ideas of like things you are enjoying, so I can continue to do those things.
Bagman.
Okay.
What? Why are you like this?
Why? Why?
Why would you say that?
Bagman.
Why would
I
you
mean,
say that?
Follow my voice is all I have to say 3 times.
So mean. That's very mean.
So I do have another topic, and this is to no one's surprise. This is probably going to like bring some eye rolls, but I think it's a good challenge for every DM, and this is something that's kind of been a big topic given how troubling and idiotic some of the company that created the content can be, is working on kind of decolonizing the DM perspective and making kind of consistent changes to some of the racial stereotypes or disabled stereotypes or the way that power and privilege play out in the systems in your games, and not necessarily like leaning into what has always been done and trying to take kind of a different approach and kind of recognizing how your storytelling and your own perspective might be leaning into that. I'm not saying that that's something I overtly see in you. I just think that it's a good practice
easy-
and conversation.
It's an easy
DMs.
crutch. It's an easy crutch to fall back on. I mean,
Mhm.
I completely understand. And I do think that I sometimes like I don't even realize I'm doing it, and I do it, and then later on someone will go, "We'll point it out," or I'll go back and I'll catch something, and I'll be like, "Oh goddamn, that's like that's the laziest way to do that." So yeah.
Well, and there's even being able to do that in the context of the story is also very cool. Like with Shannon and I, with the Love Lost Chronicles, and then I tied my universe into the Love Lost universe. When it came to like the Drow, what we did was we told it in the story of how the Drow changed by having the younger generation, you know, kind of rise up against the stereotypes, and the younger generation actually killed the god.
Mhm.
They were like, "Yo, this is idiotic, and y'all are stupid, and we're tired of this. Like, we're gonna take control back." And I also set it up where like Waterdeep was not, because the game took place in Waterdeep. We set it up where like all of those racial stereotypes that are common to D&D just did not exist. Like I rewrote shitloads of history, and I let my players also contribute to that, because my players were super. They were almost all people of culture, so it was a unique experience, and everybody was really a part of like different marginalized communities, and I let them have a huge say in how that storytelling and narrative was built. And really, it was about like taking my own like privilege and setting it aside and letting them kind of rebuild the world. So we just kind of made this baseline establishment of like, those stereotypes do not exist here. We are taking the problematic pieces out, and we get to rebuild the world the way we think it should exist.
I like that. I think it's something, like I said, that I try to do. I'm not always very successful at it, but it's something that I it's good to also being remade aware of it too, because again, it's something that if you're not aware of it, you just kind of fall back into status quo, which is not what I want.
I do it too, that like we all do it. It's inevitable. It's a thing we will all always do. It's just a good thing to keep at the forefront of the mind, where you're always like making consistent effort to work through it.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate that it's just been such a part of the game. It's hard to kind of make sure that
it's more than even just like a part of the game. This is a much larger conversation.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that too. It's just, unfortunately, it's been reinforced in the game.
Oh yeah,
so
100%.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, this thing that you shouldn't be doing anytime, anywhere, any place. It's even like, yeah, but in a fantasy space, you know, we made it easy for you. So just be easy.
Yeah,
it's like I don't, but that's okay. Anyway, that's definitely a conversation to continue to have. I think we did once. You came on and we talked about it somewhat. We should do that again.
Yeah, we should. I've got some resources and stuff too. So because I've been digging. This is literally what I do for a living.
What else?
I think that it would be fun to, like, we've spent a lot of time in a very cool way jumping all over the place, right? So like, you know, from plane to plane to thing to thing, and like it would be cool to be like a little more settled for a little while, like to, you know, because like a really fun thing about bouncing around like we have is, you know, opening up the story and introducing new characters and that kind of thing. But sometimes it gets to a point where it's like, oh, it would be really cool to like spend more time with like
explore these things that we built,
you know, or whatever, you know. So like, you know, and I think even from a like maintaining the narrative standpoint, like it's you know, it's easier to like keep track when, you know, it's like, oh well, we've seen this person again, you know, and I think more of that would be cool. You know, even you know, to a degree, I feel like that you know, coordinates a little bit with the time frames idea, because like if we're in a place that is established enough, like that we can use some of the time that is spent like scene setting, right? Like, and that more of that can be interactive or any of those other things. So, you know, I think we would get a lot more time with that. Like I really, I think back to like when we started and we were at Sigil for a while, and like that was really cool because I mean, like, it's a very cool setting. I really like what you did with it, and like it was like this sort of, it was both limitless because it's Sigil, but also like there were some rails, right? So it's like, hey, cool, like you're, like I don't know, that was really fun for me. Warforged Team Jorts.
He's a human boy.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the character's name.
Is
I also
he
can't.
though? Is he?
Of course.
I don't know if it's even more open world, less linear. I think currently it's a little bit like it's still open world. It's just a smaller portions of the world. And this was something I completely agree with. That's why I put my initials with yours, Ryan. I feel like I've been really bad about like wanting to jump to the like almost FOMO on steroids, just like let's go. Rather than like, I think we've got like you said, Sigil is a really cool place. I think we've got a really interesting place in Liminal, and it just never. We don't. I mean, how much have you guys really even done there?
We did the what, like some classes.
Yeah.
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 I think too, and sort of, I think like very complementary to that, related, is if, particularly from a like also time management standpoint, like if we could be less split, that would be cool. Like, I mean, it's very fun and it's very cool to have like all of that stuff going on at the same time. However, the flip side of that is, both again, it becomes a little bit more difficult to keep track. There's a lot of scene setting and things happening, and I think a lot of individuals end up sort of sitting around for a really long time, and like, which like can be fun, but like I think when we're getting to the point where like I'm like, I was thinking about it, I was like, where did we leave off? And I was like, are we even in the same in this, like in the same place? And it's like, I think we are. I think, yeah, we are.
Yeah.
But like that's also like feels like the first time we have been for like a long time.
Definitely was.
So along those lines, then I don't know if if this is something anybody would be up for or anything, but like if you feel like there needs to be a party split, if you set it up so the party split happens at the end of an episode, where the next episode only the people that need to be split off have to participate, so that way people aren't sitting around just silently listening. And
That might also be a very good way to do that.
Mhm.
The only thing I worry about with that and is just that since we're playing once a month now, that people will be like, "What? What are we doing? What is all this nonsense you're spewing out here, guy?" I mean, I think it's something to have a discussion about for sure.
see, and the reason why I think of that is as a DM, I've had to split the party off, but that way, and not saying that players do it, but it sometimes leads to less metagaming and more kind of in-game surprises when the players weren't there for something and they learn about
Good
it.
point.
You get that in-game surprise of, oh, what?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. right, what else we got?
So
Slow down, everybody. You're talking over each other.
I just talked.
I will also say that, both as a DM and as a player, I like during combat sessions, sometimes you don't need to roll the dice if you have like this really cool maneuver and such that you want to do and it's very cinematic. I like John Woo style combat in my D&D games.
I try to do that. I again don't know if I'm always extremely successful. We do use scaling escalation crit dice, so that helps. Generally, that helps a lot. Make combat more dynamic. I also try. I try again. I don't know if I'm always successful when people do a lot of like interesting stuff to give them bonuses. So I'm gonna roll dice because sometimes the failure is the fun.
Well, and sometimes you just need to make a deal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the failure could be just as good.
Adding that down. I'm gonna add this down here too. Do this. Well, something else we do too that all of a sudden I just drew a blank on.
Like beneficial side things you do?
Oh, double deals, yeah.
Yeah, you just brought that in near the end. And I'm pretty sure I already took one deal. So
You did right off the bat.
yeah,
Are we surprised
not?
that Nate took a deal?
Mm.
No. No.
All right, I mean, these are all really good. What else we thinking?
Well, I made a list of things that are all like very specific.
Please.
Like, well, and I don't know if this will fit in with staying in the same place, but like I wanted more with Calorel and the Cataclysm engine, which may be way in the future. But he has that now, and that's scary. Especially since I need to kill him. Yeah, because he's on my list from the Baron.
He's on that list.
Yeah, he made the list. And then like Roni and Bargrit stopping Archon Tiamat / Amulet.
We'll get Sarah to join and we'll play a side session of that.
Oh.
Mm.
Keep going. So I have an idea for that.
Oh, I don't have any.
Oh.
And I'm going to write it down.
Does it involve the Prime as well as He Who Is Many and other? Because he's on the list too, as is the Sovereign Swarm, which ant people are going to be scary, right?
That's the title that popped in my head for that whole deal.
Well, we're focusing a little more on Scooby-Doo horror, so it's going to turn out that we pull the ants' heads off and it's just old white men.
Gross.
I know. That's the real scary part. Like, that's the true horror.
The true horror was the friends we made along the way.
I mean,
speaking of Mr. Magnar, he and Victor are causing problems in Storm Song for Ragesh. So
That's true. We still have. I'm just going to put this out here. We can move it if we need to. I can't remember if that's what we called it.
What are you trying to write?
I'm trying to remember something.
Well, I'm saying we could probably help if you explained it.
It was something I actually named.
Yeah, Nate's got 22 pages of notes.
Oh, it wasn't with Nate. It was with Shannon.
But Nate takes notes on everything.
It had nothing
that's
to do with Nate wasn't there.
You don't know that. You don't know
True.
that he doesn't have
I'm
notes.
making an assumption, yes.
He might have notes.
Might.
I put it in the private chat. I can't remember what it's called for sure, but
Oh, yeah, I don't have notes on that.
you shouldn't because you don't know about it. Is that correct, Shannon? Is that thing I put in private chat, Shannon? Is that correct?
Let me see. Oh, sorry, I didn't see the notification. Yeah. Which you and I need to like spend some time with you because like I'm gonna be so real. My brain is so all over the place with like the events leading up to this, and there's just so much information. I struggle with this particular game because it's been running for so long at remembering everything, and I'm
Someone
not great with notes.
Someone pointed out that like we've been playing this since 2020, and I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, it's been running a long time.
So all of this stuff, this little group here, Nate, would all kind of go. Not this, but these other things would go into this, which is just some. You talk about a Scooby Doo ass name.
Yeah.
So actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I'm going to do one of these, one of those. This. Oh, what's dude's name? Who's got Vecna's hand? I can never remember his name.
Archon,
Archon.
the cruel.
The crusty I almost put there for some reason.
I mean, he could be that. too.
Crusty.
It's just not official.
should
I mean, he
call him
probably is
Krusty
if he
the
has that
next time I
hand.
see him. See what he says.
So those would all fall under that. Because yeah, I've been kind of.
I'd like to. I'm actually going to contribute something, Ben. Watch out. Watch out. I'd like to. I know we talked about our classes leading to us like learning new skills and that kind of stuff. We kind of never have done that. I'd like to explore that a little bit more. Like,
I like that.
using the classes to actually develop our character and learn new skills or new additions of things.
Well, you have 3 years, so that'll help.
Yeah, that's a really good concept. I like that.
Yeah. We talked about it in the beginning, and some of it was in the descriptions of like, it might do this, but we haven't really been home long enough to do it.
All right. One thing I want, and I know Warrior's here.
I am here.
Warrior's busy.
No, I'm here.
Multitasking. It's
I
good
was
at it.
multitasking. I'm so hungry.
I don't blame you.
That's okay.
I don't blame you. I'm gonna run out of coffee soon. It's gonna be real sad.
Yeah, I already agree.
That's what I want.
He can't live there though. Lady will get angry. He can be there. He can't live there.
I don't know. He's dead, or he's dead now. He's not dead anymore, or he's kind of dead.
Is this
So
is this a side
His
quest that we were
lightly-
talking about?
lightly ambiently dead.
so bear with me, Ryan, and do whatever you
Mhm.
want. But
Mhm.
I had this weird like thought when I was trying to fall asleep of Akko in a trench coat and hat, a la The Thing, being a fucking crime noir detective in Sigil. And I was like, this just speaks to me on so many bizarre levels. So I thought I'd throw it out to you.
I'm into it.
Yeah, I don't know what your plan was, but it was kind of like all I could. So I have this weird thing that I do, like I will put music on before I go to bed.
Mhm.
And I'll put on like, because it's Star Wars tomorrow, I usually will put on my CP playlist, which is all Star Wars music, and I'll start kind of like thinking about Star Wars and thinking about our game. I'll do this with all of our games, and sometimes like I knew we were going to do this, and I thought we were going to play last Monday, but fucking COVID. It is like I just had this kind of, I'll get weird. My brain works weird, so I just had this kind of image in my head, and I couldn't get it out. And I was like, "Oh, this could be really interesting." All I could picture was Akko going back to Bryland's apartment and like living there, and then like becoming like a detective because he's trying to figure out what's going on. And we're best to figure that out, but
Mhm.
it's the center of everything.
I'm into it. I like it.
Okay. I didn't know if you had definitive plans, but I mean, okay.
No. Nope.
Okay, so that's something I thought of. Okay. What about what else do you guys not want? And what about tone?
I think tone wise, and this might kind of go with a little bit of what Cassandra was saying. I feel like I would like the tone to be more shitty little kids. Like, and what I mean by that is that I feel like we're playing children, but I feel like oftentimes it feels like we're treated more adulty than childlike. You know what I mean? And
No, I
like,
agree.
And so I think like more both think, us as it makes sense playing up being children. I think also like, yeah, NPCs and stuff treating us like children like would be like
my only pushback on that is sometimes when I do that, you guys are like, fuck you.
Right.
Which is also very childlike.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Sometimes,
like, you mean like a petulant child?
yeah. Sometimes it's even with characters like NPCs you like, you'll be like, no, fuck you. And it's like, yeah, but like you do know that NPC's like looking out for you and it's like trying, and it's just like you guys take that shitty little kid thing to the zenith.
Yeah.
I think that's but I also think it's a hard line for all of us to do because it's like you're playing kids, but how much of a shitty little kid are you? And I do completely agree. There are times where I'm like, no, it's a kid situation when this thing is threatening the end of the world towards you children. Come on, you figure it out. And you're like, I'm fucking 7.
I mean, I don't mind that. And I think too, like that is a good thing for us to keep in mind too, because I feel like the genesis of shitty little kids, like it isn't so much that the kids themselves are shitty. It's kind of like a lot, like it's at least half the perception and like how the world treats and sees them too, right? So it's like, you know, it's not that like we're assholes. It's like, you know, adults and other people are like, who are these shitty little kids? And like, why are they, you know, why are they trying to save the world? You know, like I feel like we can balance that better by being a little bit less shitty in certain ways. You know,
Now back to assholeness.
and then but you know that balances with
I'm gonna
like,
dial it back to assholeness.
dial back the assholeness.
Oh, I think you said I'm gonna dial back to asshole.
No, dialing
I-
it back.
I'm so shitty that I'm just gonna take it back just to being an asshole. No, I agree with that, but I think I'm going to also add to that. On the DM's side, be aware of the of yeah. Okay, yeah, I think that makes total sense. What else we got?
All right, it took me way too long to find, but Akko has to have that match.
No, god damn it. I will say I was imagining like the Kirby thing walking down Yancey Street when he's wearing the huge overcoat, sunglasses, and hat. Which was like, how the fuck, Jack, how the fuck does that hide the fact that Ben Grimm is a giant rocky monster? Like, come on, man. I still love it. It's one of my favorite things.
Everyone's like, that guy has really bad psoriasis.
Psoriasis is real bad.
It just made me think of the Ninja Turtle trench coat disguises.
And, yeah, no, and which is a riff on Kirby's OG
Sure.
thing stuff. So yeah.
No, it's cool. It'll be fun. Like Akko's in black and white for some reason. Like
Yeah.
he's figured that out. He's like, he's got some friend who he's like, okay, you stay in the back over there and just keep my.
Well,
religion
my thing
being
with black and
yours."
white would be maybe that's just a side effect of leaving by
Ooh, that would
the
be
color
so,
drain.
That would be so.
Because part of me also, all I could think of when this popped into my head was Everybody Eats at Hank's.
Mhm.
Oh gosh.
Venture Brothers.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
Akko is basically Hank Venture. So yeah, I don't know. Something to think about. Or are they like leaving Bitopia, like the color is slowly coming back?
Mm-hmm. I like it.
All right, what else we got, guys? Did we lose Matt? Matt just
Matt just was like, I'm done. I'm walking away.
Matt bailed. I'm done with these.
No.
I
people.
see him on the
Please.
side, but I don't see him on the
No,
bottom.
he's over there.
Hey, Matthew!
I just thought he was moisturizing.
Matt's doing something.
It could be moisturized.
He might be
He's made,
moisturized.
he's made of all that skin.
Yeah.
Does he
He
look
is
more
a lot of
moisturized?
You
Matt,
gotta
do
keep
you-
that skin from getting crispy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Matt, do you have anything? You play in games that I sometimes
Play it.
unfortunately do poorly in.
Hello, fellow human. You play in games.
You enjoy air as well.
I don't off the top of my head, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, the fact that you're asking is more than most people would do, so that's great.
All right. Anyone else have?
I mean, I do really like a lot of what we do, so it is hard to kind of break that down a bit. I do enjoy what we're doing.
Is there anything that we do where you're like, more of this, please?
Man,
Oh,
I already said it.
You said
But I
something else up here. I can't remember what it was. You had another thing when you were going through these things.
That was
Sovereign Swarm, maybe.
yeah. Since that kind of came along with He Who's Many, and they're doing something. I don't know what it is.
So I would ask. This is a good kind of point of connection with the Watso with the de-Watsoing. How would everyone suggest you deal with like something that is a swarm or a hive mind that is basically a colonization engine?
I think a lot of that is left up to the players also, and how it's interesting because I think there's a part of it that the onus is on the DM to break that down and maybe take a new, unique, creative approach to it. Also, part of that is on the player characters. Like when Richard was running Rime of the Frost Maiden, perfect example, because it's a module, right? Like, how do you deviate from a module that is explicitly created by the organization, right? And think about that decolonizing practice. Like, we challenged stuff as players, just in a way that the characters would organically be like, "Yo, that's messed up. Why are you oppressing that bugbear?" Like, maybe that bugbear is a good guy, and we wound up getting a bugbear. We helped him get a job. We helped break down communications, and he wound up like and Richard ran with it. Like, kudos to him, because he's like, y'all have to listen to me like once a week. He has to live with me, and like,
Are you guys? So it sounds like you're talking about Chaos Scar when everybody is now buddies with Dib. It is Impenetrable Fortress, which is just a wagon that's been turned upside down.
it's one of those things. Like, Richard, do you want to expand? Because like I know I put pressure on you all the time. Our Hugbear, he's our best friend.
Hugbear.
Oh yeah,
He's a good boy. He's just a boy.
I mean, no, I think you put it really well. I like that, as a DM, you have to be willing to, and I'm not saying that you don't, Ben. I'm just saying as a DM, you kind of have to be willing to let the players kind of change the paradigm, so to speak, of the world, and just have to kind of on the fly go with it, because they may come up with something cooler than WotC ever could have thought of. So
yeah,
let them go with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we literally took what was supposed to be a one-off monster encounter and like turned this monster into an NPC, because instead of leaning into like the stereotypes, we tried to see everything as like a being with feelings and thoughts and a background, and question that. And like some things are like snappy reactionary monsters, and there's no fighting that. But when there's an opportunity, like we saw this whole one of the strongholds in the campaign was like, oh, the bugbears are gonna all kill us, and we're like, yo, like they're just out here trying to like do their thing. It's cold for everybody. This sucks.
So, and it's actually it's actually really
it is the best Love's Trek stop.
because I ran this campaign with 2 separate groups simultaneously,
Mm-hmm.
and that section, Shannon's group, took that approach where befriending the bugbear and all that. The other group just slaughtered them all without even hesitating.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I try to do that. Sometimes I do it better than others. Like, in some games, like I said, Dib or even Calorel to a degree.
To a degree. To a degree. They're like basically besties.
Yeah,
I gave you my imaginary friend, bro.
You did. You did.
I will just always be thinking, and part of this is because it's my profession. It's hard to separate that from my day to day, but like I feel like, especially with gaming, and this is not like a criticism, it's just a statement. Like, this gaming group is very much insulated in like whiteness, right? Like, we're all white. Like, none of us are really like people of culture. Not to say we're not, like, some of us are part of marginalized communities, but like, I'm always thinking of that and always challenging myself. Like, it's not even DWATSing, it's literally decolonizing my practice as a player, my practice as a DM, and like challenging that. So, and sometimes when it's someone else's game, especially on a stream, I feel like I need to like rope that back, which is like leaning into the problematic. So I would like to see all of us embrace that a little bit more and like challenge that status quo and don't feel necessarily bad about it. And like, if you have a moment where it's like, we kept like, I will never forgive myself. There was a game, I think it was one of Richard's games, where we came across a group of kobolds and like, I just murder hoboed my way through the whole thing. And like, there was a whole society and a story there that I just completely ignored. And like, it sounds really goofy, but like, it haunts me to this day. Like, I screwed up so bad. And now I'm always like, maybe there's a story there. And I love it when a DM is willing to allow that challenge and consider their own issues as well. And really like lean into that and just kind of create a more, I don't know, like diverse narrative and also a challenge. So I challenge like everybody in the group to think outside of that and like try to flip some of your paradigms in game a little bit, because it can be really fun and challenging, and it can take the story in really cool directions that none of us could have ever possibly considered.
I mean, like I said, I'll point to Chaos Scar. They befriended some kobolds, and now they befriended the goblins and made friends with Dib, who's a bugbear. And now they've got a trade route between these two groups, and are trying to legitimize them with the kingdom that they are. A kingdom, really, it's the keep where they do their business. They're like basically have turned themselves into like trade representatives, even though that is not at all what they're supposed to be doing. It's an exploration game, and they're like, yeah, but what if we do this thing where we work to help these guys like trade and then legitimize them with the kingdom and or with the guy who controls the keep. I'm like, I guess, sure, yeah, fine, whatever. And Cassandra's character's like, well, like, can I help them grow mushrooms? Because I'm a druid of spores, and they grow mushrooms, and I'm like, I guess. So that's a perfect example. Like, I think that you're saying is like
making friends.
Where the players took things that were set up to be potential combat. I try not to say this is a combat encounter anymore, because all the people I play with in every game are generally too much fun to just say, well, this is going to be a fight no matter what.
Sometimes you use your words.
Sometimes you don't do a hit. Sometimes you use your words. But
don't do a hit.
But I think that, you know, that I can continue to get better at that. So one thing, you know, you just said something that I kind of had down here is because, man, we are super white and we are okay representation wise. I want to leave the door open for guest stars. I want to leave the open for people to join, because one thing I want to make sure is we do this big channel thing, and we, you know, and invite people to do stuff, and I can think on one hand how many people of color that have like been on stuff, and it's always makes me feel really like I am not a very good, it's not even a very good ally, very good person for not making that space more accessible. So, and just overall, I want to see if we have people regardless of who they are, who, you know, would be who want to like be on or want to have like their own little story to tell or whatever it may be, that we have space enough to like have them jump in for 3 episodes or so. How do you guys feel about that?
Sounds good.
I love it. And I'll be completely real with you. If there was a person of culture who like wanted to be a permanent part of the game and we needed to I'll make room. Like, I hate not saying that I want to bounce, but like It's
No, I agree.
I would love to see more in the group, and not just because of like tokenism, like
No, I just
you know what I mean. Not I'm not saying that's where you're going. I'm just saying like I don't want it to look like performative. Like, oh, we're dropping somebody in for 3 episodes. Like, it would be awesome to see more diverse representation, regardless.
yeah, I don't want it to, and I don't want it to be tokenism. I mean, it'd be the same thing if someone jumped in and was like, "Hey, I watched this, and I have a story I want to tell, but like I want to tell it." I would be like, "Okay, well, how about you DM for however many episodes you want to tell it?" I feel like everything we're working on Gnome World should be like I said, like a open conglomeration of ideas and fun, and it should be, like I said, open. It shouldn't be a closed off thing. I think sometimes, unfortunately, we cloister ourselves away and don't even realize it. And I hate closed gaming spaces. I think that's gross. So I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. It's that weird thing of like wanting to be better at it, but being very, very, very unsure about how to be better at it without coming off as being like tokenism.
Mhm.
So something I think again to continue to contemplate and to continue to work on, but at least recognizing it and trying to improve it. But I mean, again, and it wouldn't just be pieces. It wouldn't just be pieces. It wouldn't just be people of color, but it'd just be people in general. Unfortunately, I've had a lot of luck playing with other people, but then the game falls apart or I can't keep up with it or whatever it's in the past. Like I'll use an example. Warrior knows this person really well. Linda played in a game for a while that I ran and was an absolute blast to play with. The game kind of fell apart, but that's someone who I would adore to play with again. And just, there's a lot of people out there who have been like, oh, we just kind of our spheres kind of brushed up against each other and then went in different directions. But that I've been like, oh man, that'd be fun to play any type of game with. And yeah, I'd like to do more of that. I'd like to be like, I'd like this game to be kind of a microcosm of that, of being, like I said, if I know we've talked about like you doing the Shadow War thing, but if other people are like, oh, I got this idea and I like those characters and I like this world, would you be okay if I took the reins for a little bit? Yes. Like I would love that fact. I want it to be like a fun place. We've been doing this for like 4 years now. I want it to continue to go on for as long as we want it to, but I want it to be a living thing where there's just like, it doesn't count on any one of us to run.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want this to be like my game. I hate that idea. In fact, I want it to be everybody's game. So yeah. That's why I felt really bad about bringing up the ACO thing, Ryan, because I was like, this feels like I'm just like,
no, I think it's a cool,
let me take your thing and do what I want to do with it.
I like it. I think that is, I don't feel like it doesn't feel like that to me. And I feel like it's more like, I mean, that's one of the cool things about TTRPGs in general is like, it's a lot of like riffing on ideas. And so it's like, it's like, if you're like, hey, I thought this would be cool. And I'm like, that does sound cool. And then like, don't you worry, I will make it very stupid on my own. Yeah. So like, it's not like it's not like you're handing me a script. Yeah. It's like you're handing me a prompt and you're like, hey, does this seem cool? And be like, yeah, I'll try that. Like that. So no, I don't feel that way at all. I think it's a cool idea.
Anything else? Anything other things? I think, my gosh, I think we've been all over the map in the best way possible. Other things, though, anyone sees that they want, they don't want, things that they want to do where you're like, hey, we haven't touched upon this in a while, or I want to see us get back to this. I know Nate did a great job of like, hey, I got these things, these people that I want to see again. Anyone else? Because this is another thing I'm real bad at, and I want to get better at it, is I think I throw about 10 NPCs of merit at you guys every 2 sessions. And I can't even fucking keep track of everybody. So I want to slow my roll a little bit with that, and I want to dig into some of those characters a little bit more and your relationships with them. That's why doing more of this, being more settled in for a while, I think will help. So I mean, yeah, I mean, and there's plenty of other shitty little kids that you guys know. There's a whole school of them. Tell me your secrets.
I'm checking notes. I was like, what did I miss anything? Is there anything I want? I mean, I still really want to have Sunday dinner with the family and everyone, just because I think it'd be funny.
Okay, so here's something I wanted to do with that. That's a great one.
I just
wanna
was
make-
trying to remember like who was all invited, and I was struggling for a second. I was like, oh, who was everyone that was supposed to go to that?
I would like to make that a thing.
With what do you mean?
I would like to. So I like cliffhangers. Everybody knows that. So one thing I was kind of thinking is when like I want to try to get better at chopping things up into like little arcs. I think Sunday dinner is a good way to like coda an arc. It's like here's the stamp at the end that this little arc is somewhat wrapped up. Like this little story, this little thing we were doing for 3 episodes is now there's your wrap up. That makes sense? That way we all know like, oh, okay, that little thing, that's done.
Mhm.
Like we solved this little mystery. You know, we pulled off Mr. Jenkins' mask and he was Mr. Jenkins. He wasn't a troglodyte priest of Dendar the Night Serpent. He just wanted that gold. Utilize amulets, family dinners as a universal signal that a small arc is done. That work?
Mm-hmm.
That way, it makes it important and symbolic at the same time. Because I love that idea of like you're like Sunday dinner is like a thing. Also, then it can take on the same role in a lot of ways that a tavern can take on. You can also use it as if it turns into a bigger thing, then you're like, oh, and then this is mentioned at Sunday dinner. Especially if we're playing in a smaller section, a smaller scale for a little while.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say there was a bar fight that was going to break out because someone borrowed someone something.
I mean, honestly, that could be real funny if it becomes a thing where like people show up and they're like, "Hey, isn't that thing I lost?"
Okay, hold on a second. Now I got a story.
But no, that would make them. That would make. No, don't. It would make the family Steelers. The Great Bar.
Remind me if someone could. Isn't a Saturnalia when everyone would like, regardless of your socioeconomical status, would put everything out and like as a show of like everyone being of the same? Isn't that what the Greek or the Romans did? Now I got to look that up really quick.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not getting the reference, so sorry.
It was like a harvest day. I'm trying to remember what it did though. Right now I can't read very well because I feel like someone's punching me in my eyes.
Oh no.
You don't have to have the answer right now.
So anyway, the reason I bring it up, is there is I think the Great Borrowing might be like a little bit different than that. So I'm just going to put some notes here. Look at Saturnalia or ideas, and also potentially the Purge, but
What?
with only stealing.
Okay.
So it says there's a public banquet followed by private gift giving, continual partying, and a carnival atmosphere that overturned Roman social norms like gambling.
Yeah. I was like, so I if I remember correctly, like the thing I had read about it was, thank you, Shannon. Was that it was almost like the rich would give away as much as possible because it would increase their social standing. And one of the things that I remember seeing was like they would do that, but they would give to people they know they could take it back from. So everyone was like, "Oh shit! Look at Dave giving all this stuff away," and then like a day later, would be like Dave would be like, "Yeah, you get to keep like a third of that. Now I want my shit back."
Well, that's a dick move.
No, it was a social standing thing. It was like, I have so much. Look how much I can give away.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah. Just a weird thing that popped into my head. Like most things. Because it's
Like the best things.
you know, it's how my stupid brain works all the time. Anything else? Now I got to figure out how to work the Great Borrowing, and
Whose fault is that?
it's your fucking fault. Be excited about it.
I'm not saying I wasn't.
Anything else, guys?
I got just about all my list out.
Same.
I mean, I contributed things, Ben, so that was more than I thought was going to happen.
Warrior?
No.
See, Warrior, throw me a lifeline here. Help me out, brother.
No.
Well, how many things did you want from
That's
us?
that's a lot of things.
It was a
A
lot.
lot.
That was a lot of things, yeah.
I mean,
Fine.
there's a year's worth of stuff right there, easily.
Easily.
Yeah, okay, well, they'll keep it fine.
I mean, the way we play it, it's probably more than
It's
A
probably 2 or 3. We got to add our side things in.
got to get our shopping episodes in.
All them
I'm still rooting for a fish heist, but that's me.
well, hold on then.
I don't even know what it is, but I'm in.
It doesn't matter. Twig
I
won't
know.
say no.
Yeah.
I'm in. It involves food. I mean, Amit's hoping it's involving food. She's in. Snacks. She needs pocket snacks.
See, now I want Long John Silver's real bad now. Thanks, guys.
Oh, I haven't had that in forever.
I hate that they don't have those here.
I know.
And the
I
closest
it makes me so
one,
mad.
the closest one was Toma, Wisconsin,
Ah,
Mall of
and it
America.
closed down.
Nate, I'm not going into that hellscape of commerce.
I know. That's the only place here it is.
Wait, there's one in Mall of America?
Yeah.
Since when?
It's always been,
Since its existence.
yeah, it's always been there. It will
Yeah.
always be there.
It's in the same food court where Johnny Rockets used to be. I don't think that's there anymore.
Yeah, it's basically like in its own liminal space.
It's right by the Lego place.
I would what?
The best one used to be the one in Maple Grove because it was a Long John / Taco Bell. So Ben could get Long John's or Long John Silver's, and I could get Taco Bell because I can't get chicken at Long John Silver's because I still fry it in the fish oil and it tastes like fish.
World's
like
tiniest
fish.
violin playing
Oh, that's
Sandra.
what makes it so good.
It
I'm not a
does.
fish person.
The
The only fish I've ever enjoyed was when I lived in Alaska and I got halibut that just came off the boat 20 minutes ago. That's the kind of fish I eat. It's got to be that fresh. So, yeah.
Fair.
Give me a box of frozen fish, baby.
We got fish in the freezer, Ben.
I know. I really all right.
There was a lot of noises, a lot of words.
I was saying words. They just.
Um,
I'm sick. They all just kind of mush together. I turn into mush mouth.
I just figured you're thinking about those little Crispies.
I am them Christmas. I love hush puppies.
Oh yeah.
Hush puppies with just hot sauce drenched all over them.
Yes, please.
God damn. All right. Anything else? I think we got fish heist down. You know.
I do.
All right. Well, if we've completed our exercise, where can people find you? What do you got going on? Who you are? Who you be with?
Shannon's
Shannon, you're
first in
first.
this order now.
Are we just saying like where to find us and all that jazz?
Yeah. All your good stuff.
Okay, all the normal stuff. I'm not used to being first. I'm Shannon, aka the Rainbow Beach. They, them. You can find me on socials at the Rainbow Beach. Follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/the Rainbow Beach, where hopefully come February, depending on if we can get our little internet situation resolved, I'm gonna start streaming again because I miss it. So
What are you gonna stream? I'm super curious. I'm interested. Tell me more.
So there's a couple different things that I want to do. Number one, we have a really awesome Sunday night crew that we game with, where normally we do either Phasmo or Lethal. Sometimes Demonologist if it is playable.
I have that game, but I've never played it.
Oh, it's great. It's so fun, but like, man, is it scuffy as hell. But yeah, just I might start doing a little bit of that, and then probably like one other day a week I am going to use it because Richard kind of got me sucked into one. But I am a Honkai Star Rail player. I'm thinking about starting Genshin Impact, and because I really like Hoyoverse and the way that they tell stories. And I'm also really deep into a series right now called Goddess of Victory Nikkei, which I also affectionately refer to as Boom Boom Giant Big City Robot Girls.
All right.
It's pretty great, but it is very fan servicey. But the story is really fun, and it's fan service and mechs and anime girls, and I love it. Those are games I play like every day. Also, maybe a little bit of Disney Dreamlight Valley. I'm a little irked with them, but I am playing Speedstorm on the regular, so you're gonna get like a mixture of different things. Nate's like, yeah, and I know you're on that Speedstorm-ish. So just a mixture of stuff. Like, I have enough that I consistently love to play that I'd like to give myself time to explore and actually dig in. So it'll be a mixture of different things.
And then you're on tomorrow.
And then I'm on tomorrow. Yes, you can join us tomorrow right here. Where I will be once again playing the Matron, one of my favorite characters I've ever created in Star Wars. And then you can also catch me here for Down and Outlands. And I don't know, I might invade Spoopy Boys again at some point because that was really fun last week. We had a good time.
Also, you're all welcome to do KSR when it runs because it's an open call.
Hell yeah.
And it's actually been pretty fun. I think.
Sounds like it.
Has been fun.
All right. I am Nate, he, him. You can find me on the socials at Cubicle Zombie. Sometimes I do post things. I don't stream on Twitch, but I am definitely playing Disney Speedstorm because I like collecting things and racing.
Love collecting things.
Nate, I got a thing called Bad at Games that you can just jump on and do that whenever you want.
If my internet cooperates, we can chat about that.
I mean, we can, you, me, Shannon, all race together. Because I am also big into Speedstorm. So
Heck yeah.
Excellent.
This is what this is all about: bringing people together, forming like Voltron to do
Yes.
racing.
I am also on the Star Wars, so you'll see me tomorrow night. And then in a month when we're playing Down in Outlands.
Oh, my turn.
Yes.
I'm Cassandra. She, her. You can't find me anywhere.
That's not true. You're right
Oh,
there.
I'm sorry. You can find me on Down in Outlands, Chaos Scar once a month. That's about it, though. That's currently the only thing I'm really doing, unless we occasionally do a bad at games I play. I don't play a lot of online games actually, so I do a lot of
Minecraft,
that's what I'm saying, Minecraft.
and I'm trying to get you to start playing Dwarf Romantic.
Oh, it's so fun. I love Dwarf Romantic.
It is
Yeah.
the most relaxing game I have ever played.
I looked at it.
Yeah.
I just haven't picked it up yet.
You got to try Panorama if you like Dwarf Romantic. Panorama is another very similar one that I think
I-
actually makes it a little bit
You
better.
recommended a game to me that I put on my wish list. Gosh, I can't remember what it's called now. It's something about gardening.
Oh, Garden Galaxy. Yeah,
God, that
that's a good
game
one
looks
too.
awesome. So
That's a fun, cozy one too.
I love cozy games. Sorry,
Okay, good.
Cassandra, you were
I am also an honorary member of Nashy Boys.
Oh yeah, there you go.
you did watch Nashy Boys with us.
I did
How
do that.
How was Nashy Boys, Cassandra?
I liked it. I thought it was fun. It was good.
You're all invited to Nashy Boys in February when we do it again.
It was. I honestly, going into it, I thought you guys were doing a riff on like Nasty Boys. I didn't realize Nashy was a person.
It's Paul Nashi. He's an institution.
I learned a lot in the first 3 minutes of that episode. So, but it was good. It was good times. It was good times. So I do that whenever I'm invited. Whatever. I'm around. I'm not going anywhere. So I'm here.
I don't know if that was a threat, a promise, or just a statement of fact.
Watching you, Ben.
Yes.
Yes,
A little bit of everything.
that's fair.
Also, before we switch over to Warrior, I'm surprised Warrior didn't have you move us around into a certain order. when we first started.
Right?
Actually, thank you. We are in the correct order for Down and Outlands. Except Nate's in the wrong place, but it's okay. But I'm in the correct place, so.
Yeah, that's all that
So
matters.
since this is my concern, I'm in the right
It's
place,
the best.
and that's what really matters.
Plus, we were in a line, so it was all different
It-
anyway.
yeah, it was fine.
It was a lot.
Uh,
Warrior, hi. I don't stream much anymore. If I do, I would be at Warrior MN on Twitch. I'm also at Warrior MN on Instagram. And you can find me on Blue Sky. It's just Warrior though, because fuck Twitter.
Fair.
Yeah, that's what I got. That's me. That's where you can find me. In places.
I think I'm next. I'm not really a part of the DNO thing, but hey, thanks for having me here. You can usually find me here on Sundays doing the prep school thing. I'm on the Dave Warner channel on Tuesdays usually for Chop and Chop. And then I'm around various other places. I play Star Wars sometimes. Someday I'll get back into that. And yeah, I pop up here and there. And yeah, I'm on Instagram. I haven't updated it in forever. And then I'm also on Blue Sky because also fuck Twitter. And I am Hypno Hustler, I believe, on Blue Sky. So, and if anybody needs Blue Sky codes, I know they're very easy to get now, but if anybody needs them, let me know because it's a better place than Twitter.
we learn a lot about ourselves whenever Nash is on screen.
I am ONY_Draz on the socials, Twitter, Blue Sky, also on Twitch, ONY_Draz. I too am still working on planning on streaming again once we get our once we can hardwire our computers, which will make life a heck of a lot easier.
Seriously.
And I plan on streaming my vast amount of Steam library that I have not even touched. I have so many games that I have not even touched, so that's going to be my plan. Like, I'll pick a game that I haven't played, then I'll pick a game I have played, and plus, I seem to be good at taking over bad at games. You will also find me on Star Wars tomorrow, and Down in Outlands I am now joining, so looking very forward to this.
Yeah.
Hey. You know I am he, him, they, them, it pronouns. You just don't yell hey at me. I hate that. You can pronouns wise though. I'm cool.
He answers to sexy butt, so
I do sometimes answer to sexy butt.
Noted.
Hey yo.
Hey, yo.
Hey yo, I will answer to. I
Especially
would
if
generally
survey.
answer by saying survey. Yeah, survey. I am sorry, words are hard right now. I am tomorrow, Star Wars. Tuesday, Mang on Mang. I believe Colin has got new Lego, and I'm going to be painting little dudes because I'm kind of in between big dude projects. And then nothing until next Sunday after that, where I believe in a thing called love. Can you hear the rhythm of my heart? Matthew, are you available next Sunday?
That is my intent. Yes.
I would like to get back to Mountain Monsters.
Okay.
Are
I'm
you
into
down?
that.
Are you down? Because this time it's personal.
I am down.
Okay,
We
we're gonna
gotta
get that.
Yeah.
God damn it! You beat me to it. We're gonna get that son of a bitch because this time it's personal. All right. We'll be
Hey,
working on.
Ben, before you leave, also don't forget it's never too early. It is 2024.
Oh yes.
We are working towards our extra life goal of this year of a
Oh, shit.
minimum of $3,400 some dollars. So we hit $100,000 in year 10. So
So one thing I want to do with that is I want to throw this out there as well. I was going to talk about a couple things really quick, but that's a good point. I would like to do a 24-hour marathon before Extra Life this year. And I think I said this before. I want to run D&D, and I want it to be a 1st to 20th level in 24 hours game.
Mm.
Why?
Oh,
I don't
I
know.
am in. I love this idea.
down.
I-
There's
I-
also
oh, go
sorry,
ahead.
No, when
No,
you're
go
done. No, I was gonna say there's also talk in the works of a 24-hour Minecraft stream fundraising too, where Ben's building a world for us all to just pop in, pop out as much as we want in those 24 hours. Someone always needs to be on and just fun shenanigans.
Anybody who just wants to build stuff for that, let me know, and I'll let you into that. Yeah, I've been building some stuff off and on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got the realms is open for that. The building has
Yeah.
started. The construction. I've seen a couple of little sneak peeks. It's really cool. So we're looking at a couple of different 24-hour streams for Extra Life this year, various times.
And I'd still like to
Nice.
do. I'd like to do. I'd like for us to do some other charities as well. I know Darren works with. Oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the charity he works with. It's basically about sex trafficked individuals in Minnesota, and I would like to do something this year, just to help them out. He's asked a couple times, and we're always kind of on that Extra Life grind. But I'd like to do something just like, hey, we're doing this for that charity. It's one of the big ones too, and I never remember what it is. And since he plays in Chaos Guard and just a tremendous person that Cassandra and I have both known for a while, I'd like to be able to help out any way I can. But other charities that are out there, in our neck of the woods, I would like for us to be able to do some stuff like that. To use our powers for good, not just for evil. Yeah. All right. Anyway, sorry, I'm totally.
Sorry, I sidetracked you.
My brain is starting to spin wheels. It's bad. It's bad when I'm normal. It's way worse when I'm sick. Two games that are probably going to take up the Take Me On Wolfay Road slot, since that game got like no traction, is I want to run a Hellboy miniseries. Anyone who's interested, get a hold of me. I have the 5e rules digitally. It's 5e with a bunch of interesting things to it. And it's going to take place in the late 50s in my neck of the woods that I grew up in, because holy shit, did I find some real wild stuff. Whew.
Yeah.
Did you know that the first Old West serial killer family was in my neck of the woods? I didn't either. And boy, when you start to read about that. But I want to do that. It'll be 3 parts. And then I'm working on a game that'll just be a series of miniseries. I'm going to use the Marvel Multiverse game. Also, I have that if anyone wants a copy of it in the Dropbox to use. And it's going to be a game very similar to the old Exiles comic. So you'll get to play characters from different parts of the multiverse. So you can be like, hey, I'm so-and-so, and on my world, I'm Spider-Man. So fuck you. Or, whatever it may be. But I want to do that as well, because I think that could be really fun, especially for people who really like comics. But yeah. Otherwise, you know where you can find me, boo. I'm around. I'll be around. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank all of you for coming on and giving your ideas and your thoughts, as well as your praise and criticism. It's all incredibly appreciated, and I hope this will help you make a more fun environment for everybody to play in, and hopefully, again, that we were all able to kind of continue to take this thing we've been doing for 4 years. And that hasn't been taken into account that we did Domains of Dread before that, which I was over a year.
Yeah.
Yep. We started this on 8/03/2020.
Oh, Shaggy's in the lake in March. Donate.
Ooh, yeah. Pull the plunge.
So yeah, thank you guys. And I will see some of you tomorrow, because we got some Star Wars to do.
Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.